silly mistakes. Don't do me like this, TryHackMe. Come on, I actually got it. Does this happen to anyone? Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Did anyone's LinkedIn account get an unusual sign-in? Just me? My name's Ash, I'm a cybersecurity enthusiast, and on today's video, we're going over another TryHackMe room called Source. Notes, timestamps, links, see the description, let's go. So we've got TryHackMe booted up here. On the room source, exploit a recent vulnerability and hack a web admin, a web-based system configuration tool. So scrolling past a much better walkthrough than the one you're watching, we've got task 1, the only task. So we'll boot up the machine. It says embark. Enumerate and root the box attached to this task. Can you discover the source of the disruption and leverage it to take control? Ooh, we have a nice looking image here, the journey. So we've got this virtual machine is also included in the room Attacker KB as a part of a guided experience. Additionally, you can download the OVA of Source for offline usage from Darkstar. So I guess Darkstar created this room. Yeah, he did. So we're on the TryHackMe network in the virtual machine, and we can ping our box. I'm gonna make a directory for Source just in case there's anything that we might find and we need. Otherwise, let's just enumerate. Let's get into it. So a good old Rust scan to start off with. We see it's probably SSH, just SSH. That's kind of weird. All right, with a second try, we see a high port. Okay, so we've got 2 ports. This is definitely the most unusual one, so we could start with that. Okay, so let's use our ports that we've found, 22 and 10,000. And let's see what else we can find about these ports. So we have our SSH, which we'll be attacking after, but our focus is then this second port, which it is running HTTP and it is running some sort of mini server web admin, and that's sort of what we're after. So let's just see what we can find by going to that port 10,000 over the browser. Error, document follows. The web server is running in SSL mode. Try the URL this instead. So we can see HTTPS is there, and I'm assuming that this is the actual URL that is running on the AWS. Can I just navigate to HTTPS to get there? It should be the same thing. Let's just go accept. Or it might be the same thing. Yeah, the URL that they actually linked didn't work. Okay, cool. So navigating just over HTTPS has worked, which is kind of unusual because, you know, our scans didn't show 443 port. So no idea how that's working. But you must enter username and password to log into the server on this port. So looking at the view source, the challenge I don't think is sift through all of this, and there's no hints or anything. This is supposed to be more of a realistic challenge rather than just like a fun hunt around for flags sort of thing. So that sort of brings me back to the scan and makes me want to look into what is actually running this, because we have the type and the version. So when slapping this into Google, the first thing is exploit unauthorized remote code execution for this version of what's running. So yeah, I think that this is like well known. A CVE from 2019, so it's not too old. And we even have WebMin, the actual official website. So this is their official security page on the website, and here they are detailing the CVE. The WebMin releases between these versions contain a vulnerability that allows remote command execution. The version that we're looking at is vulnerable in a default install and should be upgraded immediately. Other versions are only vulnerable if changing of expired passwords is enabled, which is not the case by default. Either way, upgrading to version 1.930 is strongly recommended. Alternatively, if the versions are this, you can go ahead and edit, config, and remove this password mode line, then run to restart. So clicking on the more details, it says that it was released with a backdoor that allows anyone with the knowledge to execute commands as root. Versions above it also contain a backdoor using similar code. It was not exploitable in the default WebMin install. So these aren't accidental bugs. Rather, the source code has been maliciously modified to add non-obvious vulnerability. It appears that this happened as follows. So in April 2019, the WebMin development build server was exploited, and a vulnerability was added to the password_change.cgi script. Because the timestamp on the file was set back, it did not show up in any Git diffs. This was included in Webmin 1.890 release. The vulnerable file was reverted to the checked-in version from GitHub, but sometime in July 2018, the file was modified again by the attacker. This time, the exploit was added to code that is only executed if changing of expired passwords is enabled. This was included in Webmin 1.900 release. On September 20th, 2018, the vulnerable build server was compromised and replaced with a newly installed server running CentOS. However, the build directory containing the modified file was copied across from backups made on the original server. On August 17th, 2019, we were informed that a zero-day exploit that made use of the vulnerability has been released. In response, the exploit code was removed, and then they updated it and released it to the users. Damn. I'm glad I clicked on the more details because that's kind of wild. Somebody got access to their actual build infrastructure, modified the code to give a backdoor. Damn. So another aspect of their infrastructure is vulnerable. They got in some other way. That's kind of terrifying. So the product became vulnerable, but that's not the real issue. So I really hope that they figured it out since 2019 when this was released, and that's when they knew about the exploit. Man, that's crazy. So next step, now we sort of understand what happened. Let's go to exploit DB and let's look up miniserve, or we'll try webmin. Okay, great. So we're on version 1.8.90. Something like a remote code execution running on a newer version would still work, assuming that that exploit is in the old version, or that vulnerability is in the old version. Awesome, so let's go start up MSF console or Metasploit. -Q will start in quiet mode, so it just doesn't give the big banner. There's lots of cool banners, but so I should probably update this. Awesome, let's search webmin. Hello? It's just not searching. I don't know. I think there were just too many search results. Okay, I was struggling to find it, but I think just searching the CVE, that gives us one result. Yeah, so I guess it's this one. Linux webmin backdoor. So show, no, options. So we've got our server host that we need to set where it's pointing. Set SRV host. That's the port. Sorry, that's the IP. Set SRV port. And remember that was running on 10,000. Set the L host or the listening host. That's my machine. And the listening port is 4444 by default. I usually just use 4242, but it doesn't matter. Great, that's all set. So we'll just set our Netcat listener up. We'll just go run. Our host isn't set up. Oh damn, there's more options. Okay, so this, I didn't read it. Whoops, that's not at all. Okay, set our host. All right, let's try that again. Did I screw it up by changing these? Yes, you go back. All right, let's try it again. It says it's failed. If we look at our options, there is SSL. And when we did visit it, it was saying it must use SSL. So maybe we set that to true. So changing SSL options value may require changing port, R port. Okay, I'll see if that has fixed it. Strange. You know what I actually think it is? I shouldn't be using Netcat. Yeah, because I'm essentially saying to listen back on this port and I'm using the port, and that's what it was saying. Silly mistakes. Great, so this feedback is pretty awesome. The target is vulnerable. It's sending the payload, and we've got command shell session 1 has opened. And we're there. So we're in the user share webmin. So we've accessed through the back door and we've logged in as root. I mean, we did read it allowed root access. So we've already got full machines. So let's look at the users. So we've got a dark user. So let's go over here. All right. So it's not allowing us to actually change directories. So we could up our shell. Otherwise, we can just find what we need. Awesome, so there is our user.txt. So we'll paste that in and hit submit. And there's no privilege escalation needed. We're already there. So we'll just list out what is in root, and we can go ahead and get that root.txt. How easy. Go ahead and paste that in. Go ahead and paste it in. Don't do me like this, try hack me. Come on, I actually got it. Does this happen to anyone? Okay, there we go. And we're done. After a moment of absolute fear, a refresh fixed it. What was I worried about? So thanks for watching. That was the room source. I really like Dark's rooms. I like the realism of it. It's not as like, go find the flag. It's still a challenge, but it's much more like, this is a real vulnerability. Do some research, read up about it. So it's great for learning. So yeah, awesome room. Check out the room Easy Peasy. I just did a walkthrough of that one. That was a great boot to root. Bit more of a fun CTF challenge, not as realistic, but still fantastic. So go check that out. Otherwise, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.